Welcome back. Now, I am not a tool mechanic by any means, but I did recently buy a drum sander and it had a little bit of shake to it. This is a used drum sander that I picked up for about half the price of a new one, so I figured it would probably need at least a little tune up. And I quickly realized that this shaked quite a bit when I started it up, and so upon further examination, I could clearly see that this rubber thingy was pretty much wore out. And so I tried to search drum sander rubber thingy and figured out that that really wasn't going to do the trick. So I got the manual out, and on the tool part, I was able to identify that this was part number 15, which is a spider coupler. So I contacted the tool company, and they were kind enough to send me a direct link so that I could purchase the part that I needed. This part was a whopping $3. Now, let me reiterate, I am no professional at this, so there's probably a better way to do this, but I just removed the two set screws with an Allen wrench on one side. The other side of it, it was kind of a little bit too tight to remove those. So I'm going to actually also loosen up and remove the whole head a little bit so that I can get enough space between the motor and the drum part to be able to get that old spider coupler out and get the new one in. To try to keep this aligned as best I could, I actually put a cutting board under the drum sander that I had just run through it when I was testing it out so that it was, really at the exact same height as the drum sander currently was in position. And this made it a lot easier, and alignment at the end actually seemed really good. I also had to remove the two screws holding the digital display on so that when I pulled this out, that didn't get, bent or affected in any way. So now that I have enough space in there, I'm just going to work that spider coupler out. And I'm sorry that I have not mastered the skill of getting my kind of clunky camera into tight spaces, but you'll be able to see when I pull it out just how worn out it is. So to put this back together, I'm just going to reverse the process. I'm going to pull the drum out a little bit more so that I can get that new rubber coupler in. And then I'm going to attach the bolts to secure the head back to the main body. Once that's secured, I'm going to remove the cutting board so that I'll be able to spin the drum and push that metal part of the coupler nice and tight into the rubber. The metal from one side of the coupler and the metal from the other side of the coupler never end up touching, but they definitely get closer together. Now to attach those set screws back in place, I used a little bit of Loctite and then I used the Allen wrenches in order to get those nice and tight. I used a little bit longer Allen wrench at the end just to kind of finish it off and hopefully add a little bit more torque. Now I'm sure that professional machinists would have a much more precise way of doing this, but since everything had previously been lined up, once those bolts went back in, I was actually really happy with the alignment. I got a constant gap between the two metal pieces, and it is working extremely smoothly. So for a $3 fix, I'll take it. This might not be the fix for every rattly drum sander, but if yours were to start to rattle, this is probably the first place that I would look. So if you're enjoying my work, please like and subscribe and follow along, and hopefully we can all learn more about our tools and building things from each other.